Hey, welcome to Gold's Garage. So we're not at Gold's Garage again today. We're at Darrell Dyno service in Springfield, Ontario, which, by the way, is just a few kilometers away from St. Thomas Speedway or drag strip, which is in Sparta, which is not very far from here. And that's important to say today. So if you've watched my videos before, you already know Darrell Waters. He's kind of a household name. We call him Dyno Darrell. And today, he's the feature of this show. We're also going to dyno a 400 Pontiac engine in a video we're going to make right after this one. But we've got something special to talk to you about. And if you're a MOPAR guy, you're going to love this. If you're as old as me, you're going to love this. And if you're a MOPAR guy that's as old as me, you're going to love it even more. Because I actually got to work on cars like this back in the day. This is Darrell's 1962 Dodge Dart. And it's a max wedge car, and he's got a special story. He's going to tell you all about it. It's a drag car, and Darrell's been working on this car, on this motor, since I've been using them for my dyno services 3 or 4 years ago. So he's got it on the road. He's had it running, and we're going to start it up and let you hear it run. It's a dual quad max wedge motor, so it's pretty special. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Darrell, to take it from there.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I got a 1962 Dodge Dart. It's a 413 max wedge. My parents bought one of these new back in '62. It was the only car they had to drive, so my dad drove it, or drag raced it on the weekends, and my mom drove it through the week. She actually drag raced it too down at Sparta. They had the powder puff, they called it back then, and she raced down there and cleaned everybody up that day with the car. He'd been to Detroit and raced down to Detroit Dragway before, and he's raced against the Ram Chargers and talked to a bunch of guys down there, and seemed quite shocked that he knew so much about the cars. And he says, well, I own that white one over there. And he's like, well, you're only 2/10 slower than we are. What are you doing asking us questions for? He goes, mine's all stock, because they had headers on theirs and a cardboard back seats and single exhaust on it just to make it NHRA legal. But they didn't believe him, so he's like, well, come on over and have a look. So we walked over and he opened up the hood, and the one engineer, the Ram Charger engineer, looked at it, seen it still had the cast iron manifolds on it and exhaust manifolds, and he's like, man, he says, the boys back in Detroit ain't going to believe this one. So they were pretty impressed with how he got it going so fast, is what they were doing. They're factory engineers. They did all the design and everything at the factory, and then they went out on Woodward Ave at night and tested them out, seeing how they worked with going to everybody else's cars. So. This one's got a 1964 block. I bored it 60 over. It's 9.6 to 1 compression. So it's actually a 426 now. And solid roller cam. And pretty well everything else in it is all stock. I don't have max wedge cylinder heads. It's got 452, 440 heads on it that are ported. Big valves, 214 intakes, 181 exhaust. And pretty well everything else is factory original. Carburetors are jetted and to the factory specs. Got a 3500 stall converter, 430 gears with a Detroit locker. And fastest it's ran so far before I rebuilt it was 1254, 108 and a quarter. I'm hoping to dip into the 11s now. My fingers crossed it does. So I'll fire it up so you can have a hear what she sounds like. Pretty cool. You could go back into the dealership back in 1962 and pick up one of these and get a car just like this. Uncap, drive it down to the drag strip, take the caps out the exhaust because it's got dual 3-inch pipes that come out just underneath the driver's door and passenger door with caps on it, and then it goes through the rest of the exhaust system. So you drive to the drag strip, take the caps off, and go drag racing, and put the caps back on and drive home. It dynoed out at 465 horse and 508 foot-pounds of torque, which I know a guy's thinking, well, the guy that owns the dyno, how come he didn't make more horsepower? But it's making more horsepower than what it did from the factory. They were rated at 4.25 horse from the factory, and I'm quite happy with the way it works. It's fantastic. It's squirrely. I took it out the other day for a test drive, and the thing's just wild. So I don't need any more horsepower. It works fantastic the way it is. So Alan wants to say a couple things about where we close out for the day. So
Thanks, Dale, for doing that for us. This is a treat for me too. You bring back memories. Say I got to work on cars like this 50 and more years ago. I hate to even say. Just so you know, this car was featured in Muscle Cars magazine in 2019. There's about 4 or 5 pages about it, and the story about how Darrell recreated it, kind of in honor of his dad. And I think that's pretty cool. And we'll be going to Sparta this summer to see how fast it can go. So. Yeah. Thank you for watching Gold's Garage. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as soon as we're done this, we're going to make another video of the 400 Pontiac on the dyno. It's on the dyno right now. We're going to go warm it up and make a video of that. So thanks for watching Gold's Garage.